This is Dia coming to you live from UMS, Underground Music Showcase, Denver 2022. We're here talking to people about Timestamp, a project that's a collection of people's experience from the height of the pandemic in isolation, uprisings in 2020. We're talking to people about their experience.
The intro track on the song, I took like a microphone and I would just like put it out my bedroom window every day and like record random sounds. And so on the intro you hear like, you know how people are doing that howling? Yeah, I'm howling at the beginning of the album. So it's very much like, this is COVID. It's such a random period of time, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and it's funny because I don't remember what I was doing musically at that point either. I feel like, I don't know, like my way of coping with it was just like throwing myself into the future as soon as like, you know, as soon as stuff opened up that was outside, I was there.
Yeah, I was out there marching for sure. If you were talking and referring to the George Floyd movement, I was out there frontlining. It's the art to figuring out how you want to be heard, and being authentic helps the art. It is, it's reflective. Good art is reflective. Seeing that many people feel the way I feel, hurt the way I hurt, it helps ease the burden.
We were all sort of separated and, quarantined, but I feel like people were sharing so much more. I even got into that app, Clubhouse app. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but just being able to talk to people all around the world when I'm used to traveling and meeting people, going to shows and all that kind of stuff. I get my energy from people around me, and not having that, it sent me into a minor little depression. And having outlets like that, and just with social media, it's like we were able to still connect by being safe and secure and everything. So
well, speaking about turning up the heat, I'm thinking in terms of pressure, like the pandemic, how did that experience go for you? Did you perceive it as pressurized in containment?
Not pressurized, containment though, yes, but in the best way possible. It created a very safe container for me to exist within and actually kind of lose the pressure of creating and being out in the world and being Kayla Marquis, whoever that is. So I got to just be at home with my family and make art because I felt like it, and not because I have to put something out.
How do you feel like the pandemic impacted and shifted y'all's dynamic as a band?
I honestly don't think it did very much. We started out as we were all best friends and then started a band. We didn't start a band and then
need to cultivate relationships.
Yeah, so when we first started touring together, I feel like that's when we really went through that cultivation. So when we went through this, thing together, we'd already been through trauma together.
And I also moved into Dodge Ram ProMaster 4 days before the pandemic happened. So
what does that mean?
So I moved into a van, a camper van. I drove it back from Florida, and then 4 days after I got back from Florida, the world shut down. So there was a lot of time for self-reflection and isolation in that.
But you were already setting yourself up for that reflection and isolation by giving yourself a container.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think I had the perfect opportunity for self-isolation, but I don't know if I was ready for it. But I mean, the pandemic doesn't care if you're ready for it or not,
It's wild being here still in the pandemic,
Sure.
COVID has kind of framed it as okay, what is it worth to be around people? I want to live at the UMS, I want to live around these people. Having the pandemic, us being all sectioned off, we forget how much this means to us until we come back here. And it's absolutely worth, if I get sick for it, it's absolutely worth it.
My striving has been music, and so that was really weird in the pandemic because a lot of my identity is in that, and it was I thought for sure I would have all this time to do music, and then I just didn't, but nobody else was, it seemed either, so it was really nice, and it was we were oh, we'll just take a break.
Artistic expression is always how I have processed my emotions, and so I think with a new level of a generational trauma of sorts came a new level of medium, maybe, but also is just this openness of kind of nothing matters. So why not just put something out there You know, like it can just float, and if someone finds it, great. If they don't, whatever, you know?